So, infinite syncopateds, we're going to cover how to get these going. I'm going to assume that you kind of know how this works already, but just to showcase, this is an advanced move. I would not consider this beginner or intermediate. The way a syncopated works, if we're going to do it infinitely, is we're going to rest the rope across the back of the wrist. There's always going to be contact, and we're going to basically turn the hand with the speed of the rope all the way until the hand is fully upwards like this. That's the beginning of the syncopated, right? What happens is you're going to have this point where the nunchuck is almost completely upside down and it's going to fly off, right? So right before it flies off is when your other hand intercepts right underneath it. So here, and we catch it. What you're trying to do is get this thing facing upwards, and you catch it with the bottom of your wrist over here as well. Now the important thing is, first, don't go too fast, and second, keep the speed of the chuck. So whatever chuck speed this enters at is the speed that you yourself must always try to maintain. Now, doing this perpetually requires you to add velocity to it, or it'll eventually run out. And that's the trick to this move. And first, we're just going to show you how to do that. Then I'll show you two tips on how to keep it going. So we hand towards the outside. So if it's my left hand, it's pointing out towards the left of my shoulders, like this, to the outside. We're resting this. Think of it more like I'm trying just to lay it on my wrist. I'm not trying to like let it roll or do anything. And once it hits contact, we're going to keep this contact with the rotation until the chuck is about ready to fall off. Here, and what's going to happen is the chuck's going to be facing upwards, and then what's going to happen from here is the other hand is going to sweep in and match. We're exactly on the same side. Now, we're trying to get pretty close to the rope. This is where you have to play with where this pass off is, because if you go too high, you'll get stuck on the rope and you'll lose the momentum. If you go too low, it'll be the exact same thing. So different sizes of chucks will mean different things. What's going to happen here is the chuck's going to roll across the back of the wrist, and you're going to do the exact same thing. You're going to turn it, except for this time, instead of the bottom of the wrist, it's going to the back of the wrist until it's almost fully up, like so. And what's going to happen over here is the back of your hand catches it from here. So here your wrists are together, here your wrists are together as well. They're just coming together in different forms. So without the chuck, it's like catch, here, catch. And that's the motion. Now, what causes people to get stuck is usually they'll lose momentum if you'll eventually lose speed if you just keep your hands very still. So we have to introduce a little bit of velocity. For me, I always do it with my right hand. So basically the second hand is what propels the nunchuck. So whatever your second hand is. So if you're going the opposite way, it would be the left hand. But for me, going counterclockwise, it would be my right hand. Once this passes over and this starts to go upwards like so, what's going to happen is I'm going to start moving my hand in like a half circle like this. So half circle as it's coming upwards, this is coming up. And this one's, I'm actually going to kind of swoop into it, so it's more like this. So what's happening is there's like this little half arc to kind of speed it up. And then as I twist my wrist, I twist it slightly faster than the rope. So those are the two things. First, when we initially come in with the right hand, it comes in a little bit faster than the left hand to add a little bit of acceleration. Now it's going to start, it may try to it may bundle up. When you come faster, when you go a little bit faster, it may cause the rope to bend a little bit. And that's just because you're introducing speed to something that's already straight on a bendable object. But then what you're going to do is you're going to twist your wrist also as you're coming up to the top slightly faster to make up for it. And it should straighten itself out a little bit. So what I mean to say is, if you come in too fast, it'll have like this bend, or you could make it fly off, right? So the way to combat that is to remember the speed always, but you just want to be slightly faster than it on both sides. Again, the first one's going to be more of like, my hand is going to try to pull into the rotation, and then we're going to tighten it up, and then we're going to flick the wrist like that. So it's going to be a faster motion here and a faster curve inward, just with the right. So here, here. Oops, let's try that again. Now, what happened there was I actually went a little bit too fast, which caused it to bunch up over itself. So you're going to have to play with that motion. And for me, it's a little bit harder to talk and to do this. This requires my full concentration, because even if your hand's slightly off on the nunchuck, by the time it returns to the other side, you have to make up for it and compensate it. Just think of it kind of like the wheel, how you have to keep a very constant motion. But that is the trick to the infinite. I hope this helps. Remember, first get the technique down, then second do the scoop, and then flick it a little bit harder with that hand, and you should be able to get it going. Thanks again for watching. Happy 22, and I will talk to you all soon.